What's up, everybody? Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 2 of my favorite 31 albums of 2023. We're counting down each and every day here in December, as we do every year, my favorite 31 albums of the year across all the genres we cover on the channel. This particular one was released October 20th here this year. This is the 6th album from this American band from the West Coast. They've been around for a long time. Like close to about almost 50 years or something like that. But they've only got 6 albums, a lot of stop and starts throughout their career. It is Cirith Ungol's Dark Parade. So good. So good. You know, this is a band that when I first listened to them back in the early 80s, I was kind of like, wow, that's really different sounding, right? Because you got a guy named Tim Baker on vocals who is really unique, but not for everybody. But he's got that metal voice, that gravelly, raspy thing that just doesn't sound like he's being choked. But it works, and the music is epic metal, it's doomy, it's progressive. And I was really taken by this band in the 80s. And then they disappeared, then they came back, then they disappeared again. But they've been back in the last couple of years with arguably 2 albums that are as strong as anything they've ever released. You know, Forever Black came out a few years back. That was really good. And Dark Parade, I would put up there with anything they've ever done. You know, I like their first album. The first album is not quite as realized as the next 2. The next 2 are classics in my opinion. King of the Dead is just so good, right? That's gotta be the favorite. But man, Dark Parade and Forever Black are right up there, and especially this one. I love the production of this, just a massive sounding album. Let's talk a little bit about the band, Why Don't We? And this was released on Metal Blade Records. Of course, you got Tim Baker on vocals. He calls himself the Aztec Death Whistle. Okay. Jim Barraza on guitars. Greg Lindstrom on guitars, longstanding member. Jarvis Leatherby on bass, and of course Robert Garvin, drums and percussion, longstanding member. You know, you got Tim, Greg, and Robert have been in the band forever. Jim's been in the band for a while now, but recently no longer. Right, I think he had to drop out of the band due to health reasons. And then you got Jarvis on bass. Yeah, but. This is really good, and it was just really kind of disheartening to hear the statement from the band recently that said that after 2023 or 2024 tour commitments that they would no longer cease to play live anymore, or at least to tour. I don't know if that means that they won't play select shows. Hopefully that doesn't mean that we won't get future albums from them, because man, like I said, this is so good. It starts off with Velocity, just killer track. Relentless. I mean, the riffage on this album is so good. Sailor on the Seas of Fate is kind of doomy, kind of proggy. Sacrifice is killer. Looking Glass is killer. Then, of course, the title track, Dark Parade, is intense. Distant Shadows, again, that kind of brooding, doomy, kind of proggy thing that this band does so well. And then the Rampaging Down Below finishes off the album. There's not a weak song on it. I really like the production a lot. The tone, the crunch on the guitars is enormous. Tim's vocals, I would argue, for those who thought that Tim's vocals back in the 80s were a little too harsh, I would argue that with age he's mellowed out a little bit, and I don't mean mellow by his vocals are mellow, but I think there's less harshness on his vocals, and we've heard so many different types of extreme type vocals in the ensuing years that you listen to Tim now and it's just like it's not a big deal, right? He doesn't have that. It's not that kind of like, oh my god, do you hear that maybe we thought back in the early 80s, and now he's just got a unique perfect heavy metal voice. Right? He doesn't do the operatic soaring thing. He doesn't do the growl thing. He's just got this kind of like gravelly thing that just really works, and it works for the band. But it's been, with age, it's been tempered a little bit. And I think, to me, if you had any issues with Cirith Ungol 40 years ago, listen to this new album. this might be a little bit easier on the ears for you. But yeah, this is just an immense album. Epic metal with elements of doom, with elements of prog. Just so good. Of course, the great artwork. As always, they've been using the same guy forever and ever and ever. Just unbelievable stuff here. Of course, I'm forgetting his name right now, but I'm going to tell you in a second because it needs to be mentioned because he's so good. He's done a lot of the Michael Moorcock related stuff. His name, Michael Whelan. I knew I'd forget that. I shouldn't forget it, but yeah. Anyway, that is my pick for number 2. Immense album. When I knew this was coming out, I knew I would really dig this, but this just kind of really just took hold of me in the latter half of 2023, and there was no way this was not going to be at least a top 5 for me. So Dark Parade by Cirith Ungol. Let us know what you think of this album down in the comments below, as well as your pick for today. Pick number 2. Number 1 tomorrow on New Year's Eve. What's it going to be, folks? What's it going to be? Some of you have already kind of hinted at it in the comments and predicted what my number 1 will be. My number 1 was my most played album of the year. Usually my number 1 is always the album that I play the most during the year. And that's coming up tomorrow. So visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, down below, down there, we'll get the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, and our Cameo page. Thanks in advance for all your support there and all your future support. That greatly helps the channel. And we'll see you tomorrow for pick number 1 on New Year's Eve. Till then, I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching. Don't forget UK Connection coming up later on today. You don't want to miss that tomorrow. We got Ranking the Albums. Grant Arthur and I will be doing our top 10 Todd Rundgren, as well as we will have our video announcing all the Sea of Tranquility show winners of the year, the personalities, the episodes. That's coming up tomorrow. Stephen Reed, George Lemie, and I will be announcing the winners tomorrow. So tune in for that, and we'll see you then. I'm Pete Pardo. Enjoy your Saturday, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.